in the Moscow area. It has to do with residential rings, whether they're, surveillance footage, but they're residential. Everything to map out the white Elantra. But when we're talking about other areas, I believe that they are using cameras that are non-residential. So my question is does it not alert you that if a car is going to make sure that it eludes all of the all of the commercial cameras, to include the traffic cams in Moscow, Idaho, wouldn't it do the same in Pullman, Washington? Wouldn't you avoid those cams? And it's interesting that you can use these cameras in Pullman to highlight this white Elantra, but you can't find any of your traffic cams to highlight this white Elantra because you say it takes some crazy way to get into Moscow, Idaho, that the first time you see it is in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive. So I want to break down how one would have to travel in order to elude all of the cameras, and at the first time that you ever see this white Elantra, that it's on Indian Hills, 700 block. Again, Pullman, Washington, other areas, this big loop, I do believe that they're using traffic cams, residential, or traffic cams mixed with commercial property cams. They didn't use shit. Come on, guys. Welcome. What's up? Welcome to the Transparency. Bryan Kohberger will be transported to Boise. I went back to this opener that I did back. I don't even know how long it's been now. When I wanted to check out the traffic cams and all that crap. Actually, Ann Taylor brought it up in her last hearing, or with Payne, and asked him about this. So I want to take a look at something, though. Again, welcome. What's good? Take a look. Say hello to the transformed Idaho 511. Sure. We won't even read any of that. What? Next. Creating a customized route. Oh, shit. We can customize that motherfucking route now. Oh, hell, maybe I should read this. All right, let me make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at. Oh, yeah. See the route that they'll be taking Bryan Kohberger on to get from Latah County all the way to Ada County. He'll be in the sheriff's. He'll be in the Ada County Sheriff's custody. The order was put in today to transfer Bryan Kohberger, so he will be transferring, and he will be in Ada County from here till trial. It's a little bit further. It should be interesting, though, to see if what changes in terms of will there be any more leaks. I mean, all the leaks were coming out of Latah County, so we'll see if that changes. But let's see. Okay. Say hello. Creating a notification for your route. Okay, sure. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. Let's go ahead and go. Oh, shit. The local Boise. Local Boise. It's Thursday, September 12th. What's today's date? Yeah, 7:56. Oh, that's right. Time change there. Holy shit. Okay. Is Boise only 2 hours then differential, not the 3? Oh shit. I'm gonna double check that. It's 2 hours, isn't it? I think it's 2 hours, guys, from off of Eastern Standard. He was ordered to be transported. I don't know when it's gonna happen. I just figured we would take a look at some cams to see if we could catch some crazy people. You know. Yes, Boise is 2 hours, so it is mountain. That's what I thought. Yeah, so it is 7:57 there right now. Whereas in Moscow, Idaho, it is 6:57. So that's actually amazing for us with the trial. Remember how I said like if it's like your day gets a hell of a lot longer, but here we at least get that hour. So for trial to be watching it, it would be about 11 a.m. for a 9 a.m. start there on the East Coast. So we would start at 11, and that would take us to, then instead of being done, it'd be like 11 to 7 if they go like 9 to 5 versus, noon to 8. So there's something to look forward to down the road. You guys, they're talking about putting a new case management schedule together. What that means is everything that's been put out to this point with these dates, they're probably going to change. There's a chance they won't, but this judge can say, okay, I want to have this, this will be this deadline, this will be this deadline. And that means like obviously there was already a discovery deadline that could change technically. This new judge could put in his whole new, we're going to go this. We're going to start the trial on this date. If there is no problem with the courts being able to do a summer of 2025, I think they're going to try to do everything they can to keep the date, but things could change. The mom of Carson Hockey, gifted a membership there. Thank you. Let's give you a little ring. For right now, Santa is still on the case. There's been no news that Santa is off the case. So Santa's on the case. Look out. Let's see. We have a new judge, Steven Hippler, and he was appointed by Bevins, appointed him. That's who made that decision. So let's see. In 2013, Steven Hippler was appointed by Governor Bush as a district judge for the 4th Judicial District Court with chambers in Ada County. Judge Hippler graduated with the University of Utah College. Okay, there we guys go. We got the University of Utah. No ties to the Vandals. So if you guys want to keep to know anything about this guy, he went to he's a Ute. He went to the University of Utah College of Law in 1991. And in addition to his civil and felony criminal calendar, Judge Hippler presides over the Ada County Mental Health Court Program. Mental Health Court Program. He also serves as the Deputy Administrative District Judge. So administrative. So he knows all about that, getting shit done, delegating. If you're usually in administration, you're either being told what to do or you could be delegating administrative duties, but logistics. He's the administrative district judge for the 4th Judicial District. Immediately prior to taking the bench, Judge we're gonna have fun saying that, Judge Hippler Fuck. Get hip, y'all. Again, immediately prior to taking the bench, Judge Hippler was a partner at Givens Pursley LLP. Before joining Givens Pursley in 2002, he was a partner at Hall, Farley, and Blanton. In private practice, Judge Hippler primarily represented doctors, hospitals, and other medical providers in medical malpractice actions, business disputes, things of that nature. Judge Hippler is Judge Hippler is a Boise native. So, first name there, Steven. Stevie Pooh. So, again, this just happened about 4 hours ago. The murder trial for Bryan Kohberger will now be placed in Boise, Idaho, after the accused killer of 4 college students successfully argued he couldn't get a fair trial in the small community where the tragedy occurred. Idaho Supreme Court Chief Justice Richard Bevin Thursday issued a one-page decision, moving the case from the small town of Moscow to the state's capital and assigning District Judge Steven Hippler to oversee the trial, which is currently set for, obviously, June 2025. What we can expect to see next is a status conference update. And I'm going to show you what that means. It means, hey, guys, we have to take a look at the calendar. These are the dates that you guys had set before. He probably wants to talk to both sides of here. This could also be something that happens, not with our presence. The only thing that we still want is we just want to keep the cameras in the courtroom. So does anybody know if there's ever been a court case where Hippler was like on the cameras? I couldn't find one. So anybody able to find where Judge Steven Hippler, let's see, we'll go like this. Okay, Ada County, here it is. The court, having considered Blank's request for approval to video audio record broadcast. Yep. Granted, denied. Steven Hippler. Okay. I mean, because this isn't going to be on Judge's YouTube channel anymore. So I was looking to see what we can expect as far as those accommodations. We can expect that soon. I think everything's going to stay the same. I'm curious of the suppression hearing date. I think there's a date coming up in November, and I think that's really, really soon. What do I know, though? I think that reciprocal discovery is due in January by the defense to get it over to the prosecution, January 2025. But I think the next big motions that we're going to hear and see are suppression hearings. If we're going to start seeing what they did in the Delphi case, I think we're going to start seeing Frank's motions to challenge a lot of the stuff that the investigators in Moscow did in this case. So let me pull up an interest here. So I thought it was hilarious that back in the day when Bill Thompson wanted to give all these dates, and I just was like, I don't know. I just Here we go. Order setting disclosure deadlines. Oh, no, not that one. I want to know what's going to happen with that 17th, 16th. Where is this? Scheduling order. Thank you. Here we go. We'll come back to that. Whoopsies. What just happened there? Bless us all. No. I just lost it. Hold on. Damn it. Scheduling order. Okay, now we can share. All right, so this is what we were looking at before. So a jury trial shall commence 8:30 a.m. on June 2nd, 2025. And it was going to run all the way until August 29th, 2025. So now we're going to find out if that's going to change. Next up, a final pretrial conference will be held on April 3rd, 2025. Motions. Any motion challenging the death penalty shall be filed on or before September 5th. So right there at that deadline, basically. So Bill should have been expecting that. Next, any responses shall be filed on or before October 10th, 2024. Any replies are due by October 24th, 2024. A hearing on the motions shall be held on November 7th. So right now, your death penalty hearing, okay, is scheduled for November 7th. Motions to suppress evidence and any other 12B motions shall be filed no later than November 14th. So this is the order that we're going in here. Again, this is just like no later than November 14th is for your suppression. Motions to suppress. And that's going to take us right up before Thanksgiving. Again, these things could change. Responses. So responses shall be filed by December 19th, and any replies shall be filed by January 10th. A hearing on the motions, so it kind of like what they had in Delphi, they had a hearing on all those motions, and it was like a 3-day, I mean, there's a lot of things going on in that, but there was like a 3-day huge long blast. So a hearing on those motions shall be held on February 6th at 10 a.m. and may continue into February 7th if needed. Then motions in limine, we just saw that in the Delphi case, including any 404B notices shall be filed by February 13th. And then any responses are due by March 13th. And then any replies shall be filed by March 20th. A hearing on the motion shall be held on March 27th and may continue to March 28th. Discovery. That's right. Yeah, defense is generating it. September 6th. I didn't see anything filed by Bill. Oh, is it frozen again? Lord help us. Okay, there you go. Frozen. Are we going to watch Frozen? Can you guys still hear though? I'll just leave the studio and come right back. It should be fine. There we go. You guys should be all good. The discovery. Again, the state was supposed to get everything over to the defense on September 6th. I know that there was outstanding discovery, so I haven't seen anything filed. They could have filed under seal. Who knows what the fuck they're doing over there. Now, the defense's discovery deadline, that means reciprocal discovery, everything that you're going to get to the prosecutors is January 9th. So after you have everything, then you get to go through everything, and anything that you're going to be providing and using, you're supposed to get that over to the prosecutors by January 9th. Anything that would come in the state's possession, they did not turn over by this day. They can't use it, in case people don't know that. I'm curious to see how that's going to work, since this just like literally this change happened like that deadline was basically going on. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I cannot believe the reason that this is taking so long. I'm sorry, but the blame is all on the prosecution. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Now, disclosures of trial experts. All they keep doing is ripping experts out. Okay. There's going to be experts at every stage, just like we saw the experts for the change of venue. Now we're going to see an expert for everything that they filed with the death penalty. And her stuff is already up. But now your experts to be able to use, this is trial experts. You have to have your list of whoever it is that you're using. And that list, along with a copy of the expert's report. Okay. The expert's report. You understand, like the reports that still the prosecution does not have over to the defense. These reports that y'all put this affidavit together for probable cause of the arrest of Bryan Kohberger. Where are these motherfucking reports? Okay. So a list of the experts along with the experts' reports and a copy of the expert's CV, the state intends to call at trial shall be disclosed to the defense and the court by December 4th. Hell yeah. This is huge. This is huge. I cannot wait to see that list if we get to see it. Okay. December 4th is like literally right around the corner. All these dates are right around the corner. And then a list of experts along with then this is for the defense. Their deadline, January 9th. That's the same time that the discovery, the reciprocal discovery is due. Any rebuttal experts for either the state or the defense must be disclosed by January 30th. So it's like after they see yours, you see theirs. Okay, I have a rebuttal for this person based on what they're going to testify to. So and that's January 30th. Trial matters. And this was something that was a big part of Judge saying this has to move. Okay, Latah County, Moscow, we cannot do this. We cannot be in charge of this case, this trial. These trial matters. Proposed jury questionnaires shall be provided to the court by February 7th. Responses must be filed by March 7th. A closed sealed hearing on the jury questionnaires will be held on April 2nd. I mean, these deadlines are like, if this all stays, this case is going to be here before we know it. And there's going to be some pretty explosive hearings between now and then, because that's what really matters. Like in the Richard Allen case with Delphi, that judge's ruling to like knock out all of that shit. All of that was so important to hear and know. And then you're going to go to a trial and watch a trial with a defense that basically has two busted knees, no arms, and no eyes. And prosecution has full go hard-ons. Okay. So what happens between now and the day that this trial starts is everything, just like how it was in the Karen Reed case. And I found out firsthand, or you could say secondhand, actually, that wow, we have some dumb motherfuckers on the juries. And I wouldn't want ever to go and put my life in the hands of 12 people in 2024 after listening to these interviews that were had in the Karen Reed case. They didn't even talk about anything in that room. Unbelievable. So proposed jury instructions. Lay trial witnesses. This is when we're going to find out who they intend to call. This is lay witnesses. That's like your, yoda yoda lay hee hoo. Get your lay ass over here. That means everybody that they plan on banging afterwards. Give me that lay witness. Do you think a bench trial is better? I think our justice system needs some serious work right now with the way that we need to have trial transcripts being able to be available, or at least the court audio. We need something. We need something. We need something to change. You guys like that? Yoda yoda lay. Ooh. Get them lays up in here. You guys think that Bethany is going to be on the prosecution witness list? Because I don't. I don't think Bethany. I think Bethany is going to be a rebuttal witness for the defense. So I see the prosecution calling Dylan Mortensen, and I see the defense calling Bethany as a rebuttal. What police officers do you think are going to be called from Moscow PD, MPD officers? Who will be called? I'm going with Gunderson, Vargas, Blaker, obviously Payne, Barrett, and Schmidt. Wasn't that one of the guys that was there? There you go. Then, that's ISP. And then ISP, I have Tolson. I have Leslie Lehman. She better be called. Leslie Lehman has to talk about how many Cameras she did not take. Oh, you know who I forgot? Maori. Maori would be with ISP. I mean, MPD. Yodel yodel amen. The 911 dispatch. Okay. So many people we got there. We're going to hear from all of them. And I think they're going to close out with, before we get into, their FBI personnel, that we'll have Maori and Payne closing it out. Blaker will be before them. Maori, Payne. Before them, it'll be Blaker. And then we're going to go into maybe your Emmy. And they don't intend on calling the, they're going to have the lab tech, they're going to have all the lab people, lab personnel. So you have lab personnel, lab folks for DNA. Trying to think of it. Dawn Daniels, bring that ass on over here. She could sit and spin on my desk. Yep, Dawn Daniels. Oh, then we got to add up the WSU people. I guess we say cops. Then some Pennsylvania PSP. Anybody else? Anybody else you guys can think of? I'm just trying to explain how this is all going to be flowing for you guys. The evidence, probably evidence technician, whoever was in charge of the cameras. Okay. And then when are we going to get to the lay witnesses? When are we going to get to the eyewitnesses, lay witnesses? Who's going to be our first lay? Well, I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say that Dylan. Party driver. You guys think that the prosecution is going to call Jack Showalter to the stand? Jack Showalter. Hunter, yep. Hunter's actually probably going to be before Dylan. Jack Showalter, DoorDash. Enan Harsh is a rebuttal witness, if anything. When Enan Harsh comes in as a rebuttal witness, you're going to hear this bell going crazy. Everybody's going to put on their cat masks. I don't know if they're going to call Jack DeCour. What do you need to call Jack DeCour to the stand for? What's he going to be valuable for? To say, hey, they were calling me and I didn't answer. Hey, yep, we were at the corner club, just hanging out. Everything was fine. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be calling Jack DeCour. Just like I don't think they're going to be calling Adam to the stand. Like these people are not necessary to their case? What does Adam have anything to do with the state's case? Absolutely nothing. What does Jack Decor have to do with the state's case? I don't know why people keep saying Jack D. I'm telling you, Jack D. Guess what? Jack D. I don't think the state's going to be calling. Why would you? Why would you call Jack D to the stand? Then I think we start getting into the Vargas is going to be called to the stand from Moscow Police Department to talk about that 700 block video. Can't wait to see that video. You guys have to remember they're putting on their case to show that Bryan Kohberger committed 4 murders, and all the people that you're going to probably have the neighbors, the one that turned over the Ring camera that was next door. Do I think they're going to be calling Xana's mom? No. Do I think they're going to be calling people's parents? I think they're going to be calling to the stand Ethan's brother and sister because they went over there. They're going to ask them what time they got there and stuff like that. Hunter, I don't see them calling. Again, you have to think about the state. I don't see them calling any of the parents. Are they going to call the guy from the grub truck so that he can authenticate the video that was his video on that channel? Sure, maybe. Let's see. Now let's talk about who you're going to call for Bryan for like the whole, to talk about Bryan Kohberger and him being the one. You're going to let Payne lay this all out, right? You're going to let the FBI lay this all out. How? Those suppression hearings are going to be very, very interesting to see what holds up and then how the state can go ahead and present their case. Again, this is all about Emma Bailey is not being called by the prosecution. Emma Bailey's not going to be called by the prosecution. Yeah, this is you're putting on a case to find Bryan Kohberger guilty. Okay, they may put on Bryan Kohberger's TA, the people that he shared that office with. They may put on a neighbor of Bryan Kohberger's to talk about his like patterns of behavior in terms of what time he got up, what would he like if he left his house, things like that. Don't think any FBI agents will be called by anyone, in my opinion, says Ms. Potts. I love it. I knew you were going to come with that shit. Who's going to testify to the white Elantra? There's going to be somebody testifying to that white Elantra being in 2011, 2015. They're going to testify those reports when they turned them in, how they're determining that it's a white Elantra, 2011, 2000, all that stuff. That's going to be up there. If nobody's testifying to that, then we're in huge trouble for the state. The childbearing hips woman or childbearing whatever, I don't think she's going to be testifying. Now here we go. Ready? You're going to have the people that arrested Bryan. You're going to have all the search people, what they found. The state may be calling Bryan Kohberger's dad to the stand. Okay. To talk about, was it planned to travel to, stuff like that. Why did you go out there? Now let's get to this. The defense. Child hips girl. The defense. Lana, Joe Vito. I don't think that Joe Vito is going to be called to the stand. I don't think he knows anything. He's irrelevant. Unless, like I said, unless the defense calls him, because he's going to say, oh, well, Jack Showalter was saying he was heading home with one of them. You know what I mean? But that's definitely not coming from the prosecution. Maybe somebody from the party, from the pool party, Bryan Kohberger pimping. Okay. Kohberger pimping. But they're going to stick to this investigation, which they're going to pump out some timeline on how they got there. So let's talk about the defense. Who is the defense going to be calling to the stand? Well, we're going to use cross-examination, obviously, to bust up whoever testifies. But if you're Bryan Kohberger, who are you calling to the stand? Well, we're calling the DoorDash driver if the state doesn't, because we're going to have the DoorDash driver testify that they never saw Bryan Kohberger or his vehicle, right? We're calling Cy Ray to the stand, right? Are we calling Bryan Kohberger to the stand? I mean, think about it. They said this trial is going to last 3 months. Who's going to be called to the stand? Are they planning on showing heavy body cam? Heavy body cam to show that sheath being in that bed. They're going to be calling everybody. They're going to be calling the administrative, both from University of Idaho and the administrative, I don't even know, people from WSU who handle the parking passes. We're going to talk about the parking passes. Yes. And when were you called to turn over the parking passes and all the names and cars, makes, models, all of that? When were you contacted by law enforcement to turn those lists on over? We were never called. Oh, you weren't? No. Brian's professor who recommended him for the PhD program. Yeah. Is Cy definitely standing? Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. DoorDash will be interesting. Question is going to be the IGG. I mean, they're not going to be talking about it like that. It's going to be known to the jury as a tip. Okay. And so the jury is going to be hearing the investigative genealogy as not that they ever did investigative genealogy. It's going to be, you got the name Bryan Kohberger through a tip, through where? Oh, the tip line. Was it an anonymous tip? Yeah, it was an anonymous tip. And it just said Bryan Kohberger's name. It didn't say anything else. It said that it didn't tell you that they took evidence from the crime scene to then put into a third-party database, breaching thousands of Americans. Nope, we didn't do that. That's not how. So it's going to be interesting how the defense is going to talk about that. I'm already thinking about the strategies of the trial. It's all going to come down to what they allow in to then have your strategy. So I would want to hear of these suppression hearings like now, so like to strategize for this. I can't know last minute that you're going to pull the plug on certain things, or that you're not going to pull the plug on things that I'm expecting you to pull the plug on. And I think that's the big thing that Richard Allen's attorneys were saying, that wait a second, you guys filed this 14 days before we were supposed to start trial in May, when you've known our defense strategy, you've known that we are going to be talking about this third party culprit, and you filed this 14 days beforehand. So so over or under, do you guys think there's going to be more or less than 75 witnesses for the prosecution? Over or under? What do you think? Remember, they have this penciled for a 3-month trial. 3 months. I kind of just threw out some. Obviously, okay, so the state is going to have, or I'm sorry, the defense is going to have their own Emmy if they can find one to combat the wounds of the victims. If anybody out there, when looking at it, can say like, oh wow, that's definitely, that wound right there is not consistent with a K-bar knife, Just so you guys are clear, in the Karen Reed case, for example, 68 witnesses were put on by the state in Karen Reed's case. Just to kind of throw that out there. So that's why I kind of said 75. 68 state witnesses. Miss Potts says, Lana, have they even presented a single expert at all? Now I'm drawing a blank. No. The prosecution, up to date, has had Payne, Mowry, and I don't even know if we could say that the state had them, because Ann Taylor called them to the stand. So I think we have to take them back down. So I don't think the state has called anybody to the stand. Over 250 plus interviews, or eat a bag of D's. Yeah, they had over 250. I live in Boise. If you come here, I want to meet you, Lana. Big fan. Okay, as long as you don't shoot me, girl, let's hang. You guys, let me tell you where I'm going. I already got my membership on Fleek. All right. I already started searching, and it's called The Warehouse in Boise. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. What is this crap? Okay. Nancy Grace is going to go toe-to-toe with me. She doesn't stand a chance. Here we guys go. Ready? We will be going to The Warehouse. So I want you guys to all go get your memberships. This is The Warehouse. Experience the lifestyle. This is located in Boise, and The Warehouse is Treasure Valley's only private lifestyle social club designed to host kink and swingers alike. I do not have a question. We are BYOB facility, open limited nights, specializing in theme events and group gatherings. All future participants must become vetted members to attend. You bet your bottom dollar you cannot have a felony. If you have a felony, take your ass up out of here. So, in case you guys didn't know, this is where we'll be going. I'm going to invite Nancy. So what else? Again, visit our vetting page for information and instructions on that process. You must be vetted. This space is vetted for members and not open to the public, by the way. Membership is required to allow us the option to turn anyone away who does not follow our house rules. Please take a look around our site for all information you need. And I said, I think I will. Let's take a look. What is this? Oh my God. What is this? It's like a lab. Oh, wait. You can like touch stuff to enter the bathroom and kitchen social area. What is this? Entry bathroom 1. Master bathroom kitchen. Okay. Dance floor. Okay. What's this? All right. God, is it going to always be this dark? Master bedroom. What's this? Temporary walls around the bed would have different signs on them based on whether it is VIP rented or open for play. Oh, okay. This is nice. Nice. Oh my God, there's skulls in here. Oh my God. There's a sex swing in here. The glory hole room. Oh my God. What are you doing, Boise? You guys are off the chain. Glory hole room? Like, what is this? Oh my God. Wow, this is real life. What is that? Oh my God. You guys. No kink shaming, Lana. I am definitely not, but I did not realize they have glory hole rooms. Okay. This is definitely where they can find IgG DNA all up in here. Wait, this is in Boise? Yes, it's in Boise. I've done my homework. I've been already scoping out places. Sorry, what is this? This is a lifestyle club. You can have sex here. People can watch you. You have to be vetted first, though. They just don't let anybody in. Okay, what's this? Oh, dungeon social bay. Okay. Okay, let's go over there. Oh, there's a bed right there. So you can just do whatever there. See, bed it up. You guys thought I was like kidding or something. Let's see what this is. What's this? The dungeon. Okay. Outdoor tent. All right. What's this? Set up as a suspense area or VIP cabana number 2, depending on the party type. Excuse me. Swing around. Fire wax. Oh, massage. Okay. Pour hot wax on your body if you want. The balcony club. Learn something new every day, guys. What are these things? Oh boy. Set up with crosses or as puddle bay. What? Wow. This is like intense. Okay. Set up. Okay. Rihanna would love this. Oh, bag and so we can keep things. Okay. Oh my God. What is this? I can put you in a jail cell. Live out all your fantasies right here. All right. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Anybody? Looks a little bit like a crime scene. Again, welcome. All right. So I thought I'd break up a little bit of let you guys know this. You go, girl. I'm staying home. Would you not just die if I walked in there and I saw Ashley Banfield swinging around and there's Nancy Grace in the glory hole room? Would you not just die? Miss Potts, nothing in this building is my fantasy. I don't see a Range Rover. I don't see Starbucks. All right. Anyways, that I'd just inform you guys. So yeah, the scheduling order is exhibits. Exhibits lists with attached copies of exhibits shall be filed by March 14th. March 14th. Each party shall prepare a list of exhibits that is expected that they expect to offer, excluding impeachment documents, obviously, to the court and to opposing counsel. Exhibits should be listed in the order that any party anticipates they will be offered. Each party shall fix labels to their exhibits before trial. The state's exhibits should be marked with red labels and numerical sequences with an S before the numbers, S like S1, S2. Defense exhibits should be marked. Wow, they want to do it like that. D1, interesting. It's very interesting. Usually it's numbers and letters. It's very interesting. Counsel shall provide a copy of each exhibit and an exhibit list to opposing counsel and the court. Copies should be made after the labels are marked and attached to the original exhibit. To expedite the trial, each exhibit should be viewed by opposing counsel prior to trial, and a determination made as to whether an objection will be lodged against the exhibit. An exhibit to which there is no objection will be admitted prior to trial. Each party shall provide the court with a trial brief. Okay. March 14th. Sentencing disclosures, any witness, lay, or expert. Okay. Ooh. Filings after the deadline. The court reserves the right to hear any motion filed after a deadline has passed if good cause is shown, including but not limited to motions that arise after a disclosure made by the opposing party. There you go, judge. So all of this is up for, we'll see. But I would think that, if they can have it be a summer trial and they can accommodate that, I think they're going to try to do the best that they can, especially for the families with that. I do. So what else, guys? Bryan Kohberger will be staying in, again, Ada County at the sheriff's, the county jail there. Ada County, the sheriffs, the deputies of Ada County will be in charge of him. And he will be at the county jail. It's a little bit further to travel for Ann Taylor and company. Lana, you will love Boise. It's a cool place. Oh, hell. I'm going to have to find some new friends. My Moscow friends are so upset. You know how much money all of them just lost that had all their Airbnbs already lined up? Everyone's like bailing. I want to live here with Lana and the TNT family forever. Keep on living with us. Did you see the interview with Steve Gonsalves and talking about blood evidence in new interview by News Nation? No. It's at Ada County. He's with the sheriffs. It should be county. Lana, what other cases are you covering? Well, I'm basically, I wouldn't even say covering it. I am destroying the Dr. Moore, Dr. Drake case. And by the way, please check out my community posts because some bombshells are coming. In that case, it's also in Idaho. Karen Reed, Sandra Birchmore, Sean Jeter Jr. Shanna Gardner, Florida, Jacksonville. Anything I'm missing? Oh, Delphi. The new judge can do whatever he wants, by the way, guys. Will the new judge override prior rulings? Is it even like no. Like no. They would have to he just can't come in and say like, oh, by the way, I didn't like what judge it. No. He can change some stuff up. I want to be destroyed by Lana. Who the fuck wrote that? You got some balls up in here. At least you remember. Jamie, $2.99. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Donna Adelson, yes. Yeah, I just want to see how they have her intertwined with what she could have possibly known, was a part of, paid for, anything like that. Lift the gag order. I don't see that probably happening. I would love it, because if the gag order gets lifted, we can start seeing some discovery. I would just give me the discovery. 52 terabytes. You know how long that's going to take me to get through? Gina, welcome. I had no idea what I walked into just now. All I saw, there were swings and cages. I thought Lana was at Bike Week. Girl, Bike Week is in the summer. No, I was just checking out my new pad in Boise that I'm gonna pop in and check out. When is he getting transferred? Great question there, Annie. It should be. I mean, if it isn't, it's all about safety, so they're not going to let anybody know that. I'll tell you who they shouldn't be telling that to. Let's hope that none of the families are being told when Bryan Kohberger is being transported. Okay, that's where I draw the line. All these leaks. I'm sorry, but for anybody to know when Bryan Kohberger is being transferred, I think that is a that's a safety concern, you know? Mama Steph, baby number 2 around the holidays, been a wild ride. Baby number 2 around the holidays. Everybody loves a holiday baby. I bet he'll be transferred at night. Like I said, I just don't want anybody to know about it. You know? If anybody's worth a damn over there in Moscow, Idaho, like Twiz and those guys, they would do a stakeout and they could like go live recording. Me too, Miss Potts. I don't want to know when. Like I said, everybody just needs to chill out, let the truth come out. This is a really good opportunity for the truth to come out. This ruling was needed, and I don't understand how I would want the truth. You're not going to get the truth in Latah County, okay? Just like Karen Reed isn't going to get the truth in Norfolk County. It's just not going to happen. Wouldn't it be amazing if the call Joseph Scott Morgan to testify, defense or prosecution? Probably he is too famous to testify. They could call him. No one's too famous to testify. Lana, what happens to motions JJ never ruled on? They're up for this new judge. I don't know really what was outstanding. The discovery stuff right here is going to be talked about. You are optimistic, Ello. I'm always optimistic. My glass is always half full, bitches. There ain't no half empty anything around me. When are we getting all the discovery? The discovery deadline already passed for the prosecution to get to the defense, and I think that's going to be one of the first things they talk about. Hell yeah. Cheers, Sarah. Woo. They shut down the phone lines when someone's being transferred. That's how they know the inmates. Just saying. Oh, interesting. Whose glass out there is empty? Spit in it. Use your own spit, man. Come on now. Was there a new interview with Judge or with the Gonsalveses and News Nation? I didn't see it. Sometimes I have to just tune them out because it's just I can't even fucking believe what they put out there. So I'll take a peek though. I'll do News Nation. News Nation, Ashley Banfield. I think it's interesting that Dog the Bounty Hunter thinks Sebastian Rogers is likely still alive. I find that very hard to believe. Ashley Banfield, I've been calling Bryan Kohberger on his burner phone. Those are the type of headlines we have. Oh, I guess. Oh, Ashley. Oh, wait. I think it's just on our news. 8 hours ago. I only got a 40-second clip from them. Bryan Kohberger. So I don't have anything. I looked. Other lawyers called Judge Hippler the hanging judge. He might be as pro-prosecution as Gall. That's nothing that I've read. I think his only downfall is that he's a Ute, University of Utah. Brian Etten in the airport, that's the one. I saw that one. Poor Brian Etten. Justin Timberlake set to take a plea deal. Incredible. Incredible. What the fuck is going on with this thing? Oh. I can imagine what JLR is saying right now about okay. I got
at 88 beds.
Oh, we're talking about how many beds are in this JLR.
If the jury pool is tainted, we can't possibly stay here anymore. Some pretty strong opinions on this.
Where we bring people by vehicle in to the jail and then secure the doors so that we have a secure space to take them out of the vehicles. This
Doing
sally
it
port
this
is
way.
shared by all of the incoming agencies as well as our transport unit. We don't have enough room to put all those cars and buses in here.
Why is he
So we
doing
bring
it this
outside
way?
The safety of the jail.
JLR, why are you using a phone to do it like this?
And put them in the cars there. The area where we're going to go right now, we call intake. This is where they'll pat them down and then remove the handcuffs.
And fingerprint them.
I fingerprint them. He cracks me. You guys, do you guys not? I just die over his videos. He's just, how do you not?
So now we're going to move into our booking area.
I
It's been
love
the same
him.
since the 90s, and we've done what we can with it as far as rearranging furniture and whatnot, but we don't have the ability to add any space.
This music just
Fingerprint and processed. Mugshot. New mugshot for Coburger too.
Oh my god.
New mugshot's coming out.
New mugshot, motherfuckers.
So this is the inmate property room. So if you're booked into the jail, we have property techs that will take all of your property, package it up, and it gets stored in this room until you're released. This, again, I started here 23 years ago. This room is the same size as it was.
You guys, JLR sued himself, okay? If nobody appreciates that, then I'm so sorry. Because he sued himself, okay? If you cannot get behind that and just not like spit out your cereal in the morning, all right? But he sued himself. So, but no one could, I mean, he's always covering here.
As the administrative judge, he wasn't the judge in Chad Daybell's case, but he talked about that case, and I think he had a role with all that stuff, assigning the judge or something to deal with the Daybell case.
Mhm.
But he wasn't the judge. But he
No, he
talks
was
about
not.
the case.
He was not the judge.
To ensure that we have the resources and we have the bandwidth to be able to put on a trial like this. It's not the trial itself that's particularly difficult. We have big trials here all the time. It's the media interest and the degree to which you all are needing to cover this that causes more issues in terms of securing the jury from that kind of influence, as well as to just make sure everybody can do their job appropriately. So it's really a teamwork effort that we've started, probably a year and a half ago. We're preparing for
that far out, because as you mentioned, there is such an interest. And one thing I think a lot of viewers might not realize is this isn't the only thing happening at the courthouse. You've got a lot of other things happening.
Yeah, this is a very busy courthouse. We have almost 40 judges here at any given time, and 27 courtrooms. So we have a lot going on. This week, as an example, I had to ask 3 judges to vacate jury trials they had set for this week because we simply didn't have enough courtrooms, and that's not unusual. And so that's just how busy we are here at times.
So
There you go. You can watch that interview if you would like. So, can we watch that trial in JLR suing himself? I wish I had the transcripts. Maybe I'll ask him for them. He'd probably give them to me. Like I said, I appreciate JLR's work in terms of I have respect for the work ethic and whatever people have done in their past. If nobody's perfect, and people have a right to, after they've paid their dues with something that they messed up in, they have the right to come out and perform like the citizens that we are supposed to be. And he had a vacate. Yeah, I don't know when that interview was. So, But I just think it's funny that he has to do this. What's he doing? I'm going to find out why he feels the need that he's got to do that. Somebody must be striking him or some crap. That's bullshit too. Like people out there just jealous fuckers. Like mind your own business. Work on your own shit. What's this? That's not what I wanted. What else? Not the same as the warehouse, but maybe he will go to the warehouse with us. LO. JLR would probably go. Okay. Only if Magnolia comes. I like her. She's a hustler too. Lana, what did the cops say again when releasing info to the public? Was it you don't even know? Was that in the video that I just played? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't watching that shit. Talking about transporting people. Wait, what? JLR took the D away from Bullhorn Betty and she lost her mind? Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. Thanks, Carrie. Thanks, Carrie, for that piece. Let's see what else. What else is up? You know, that Ellen Greenberg case, I cannot believe I'm going to show you what I was looking at today in my spare time. What do you call it? Spare, but what's that guy? Dr. Grande. Okay. Right. Yeah. All right. Check this out. This is what made me feel like, oh, thank God, you know, I'm like, because he tried to do the Dr. Moore, Dr. Drake case. And it wasn't until I saw this that I was like, okay, thank God. So I'll speed him up, but check this shit out. He could probably go faster.
Question is, can I analyze the case of Ellen Greenberg? Oh, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Ellen Greenberg? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider you can go to or
So he does all this shit. He talks about this case, and then I get to the end.
Person who used the knife.
Okay.
While it is true that no note was found in her apartment, only about 25% of people who cause their own death leave a note. When considering all the evidence in this case, do I think that Ellen Greenberg was the victim of homicide? No. Ellen was the only person in the apartment when she died.
Oh my God.
Even though the lethal method in this case was highly unusual, there's only one explanation for how it was applied. Ellen was the person who used the knife. What do I think happened?
And I said, thank God. Thank God. This just totally helps my case with his analysis of the Drake Moore case. I said, ooh, there is a God and he loves me. I cannot believe that he says that she stabbed herself 20 times, 2 of which I think were after she was dead. How do we know that the boyfriend kicked the door in? Okay. How would you be able to tell if the latch was truly latched over? Okay. So when I saw this, I said, thank God, because I will compare it now. His little, like, as we said.
Happened in this case. This is just a theory, my opinion. Not long before her death, Ellen was going through a tough time involving a lot of changes. She wasn't happy about how things were going at work. Some of her students were challenging, and Ellen was preparing for a wedding. There were a lot of different stressors acting on her, and she did not know how to cope with them. Her request to move to her parents' home in Harrisburg and her thoughts about leaving her job indicate that Ellen was looking for a way to escape. She just could not handle the pressure anymore. On the day she died, she was sent home early from work because of a snowstorm. While in her apartment, she had a feeling of being overwhelmed and made a lethal and impulsive decision. She left behind a perplexing scene and a murky motive, which makes her case full of both mystery and tragedy. Those are my thoughts on the case of Ellen Greenberg. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section.
And I did. I said, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this 11-minute video. I couldn't even believe it. And so then, just to show you why I gave a rat's ass about that, is because of this. Dr. Grande chiropractor.
That, the pickup truck drove into the alley between Brian Drake's office building and the building next to it. This placed the truck directly outside the window where the shooting occurred. After stopping for several seconds, the truck then went north on Main Street and parked. A human figure could be seen exiting the pickup truck and walking toward Brian's office. It appeared as though the operator locked the vehicle because the taillights flashed. This was only a minute and a half before the shooting. At 7:26 p.m., when the shooting occurred, a human figure could be seen walking and then running back to the pickup truck. The taillights flashed as if it was unlocked. The truck then drove to the residence of a man named Mick Mellett, who only lived a few hundred feet away. 5 minutes later, the truck could be seen leaving Mick's house and driving using an indirect route toward Daniel's house, as if the operator was trying to avoid the crime scene. The police spoke to Daniel Moore about the mysterious movements of the Toyota Tundra. He told officers that on the night of the murder, he was at Mick's house. When he was there, he developed diarrhea. This motivated him to drive to his office in search of medicine. When he was unsuccessful, Daniel returned to Mick's house for Imodium. This is where he was located when he received the call about the shooting of Brian Drake. The police asked Daniel why his pickup truck was captured in the alley next to Brian Drake's office building. Daniel explained that he had entered the alley to make a deposit, so to speak. This was consistent with his intestinal distress story. The police didn't find this convincing. It was clear that Daniel's story did not smell right. 3 days after Brian was murdered, there was a gas leak in the office of Daniel Moore. His friend Mick had passed the office on his way to breakfast and noticed that Daniel's pickup truck was in the parking lot. When he returned home, the pickup truck was still there. This was unusual for a Sunday. Mick decided to use his key to enter Daniel's office. Inside, he discovered Daniel getting up from an exam table. Daniel appeared to be woozy. Mick took Daniel outside and reported the gas leak. Daniel explained that he had entered his office to change the filter for the furnace when he was overcome by the gas. This rendered him unconscious. He explained his failure to detect the gas by saying that he had lost his sense of smell. When firefighters arrived, they noticed a gas fitting that was not very tight. This was the cause of the leak. Investigators developed a theory. They believed that Daniel was the killer, and the gas leak was designed to bring an end to his own life because he felt guilty about the murder. Several months after the murder, on August 27, 2020, the police asked Daniel to bring his wife's pistol to the police station so they could test the weapon. The police knew that this gun was not the murder weapon. This was just a tactic to get Daniel to the police station. When Daniel brought the weapon in, the police engaged in small talk with him as the gun was being tested. They asked him if he would answer a few more questions. They took Daniel to what they referred to as a secure area and told him he needed to be checked for weapons. They grabbed his car keys as part of this process. Daniel's cell phone was in his vehicle. The interview started at 2:49 p.m. It didn't take long for the police to accuse Daniel of murdering Brian. Daniel Moore denied being involved in the murder.
How many
At 2:53
times?
p.m., one of the officers said, quote, "I need to advise you of your Miranda rights, too, just because we are in a police station," unquote. The officer then explained how if Daniel had blindly fired through the window, it would not be considered first-degree murder. Daniel once again denied being the shooter, but the officers kept demanding that he explain his intent. Daniel replied, quote, "Well, I didn't shoot him, and I'm sorry, but that's what it is. So I guess if you're going to do that, then I need to get an attorney," unquote. The investigators left the room at 3:05 p.m. and debated about whether Daniel had actually requested an attorney. This was peculiar considering he had used the phrase, "I need to get an attorney." There really wasn't any ambiguity. It sounds like the police were desperate to find a way to continue the interview no matter what. 41 minutes later, another officer named Assistant Chief Marty Ryan entered the room with Daniel and started asking him questions. 40 minutes into this interview, Daniel said, quote, "I need to talk to an attorney then," unquote. The officer pretended as if he was uncertain as to what Daniel wanted to do. Marty eventually said, "You want to talk to me or not? Yes or no?" Daniel said, "I think I need to talk to an attorney." Marty Ryan stood up to leave, but before he exited, Daniel said, "So what do I do?" In the following conversation, Marty suggested that he wanted the truth from Daniel. He promised Daniel that he wouldn't get booked for first-degree murder. Eventually, Daniel said, quote, "I want to talk to somebody using my legal rights," unquote. A few seconds later, he added, quote, "That doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you," unquote. Marty left the room and other officers entered. Daniel said, "Can I talk to Ryan one more time?" Marty Ryan entered the room again and told Daniel that the police knew he was guilty, and without his confession, he would be charged with first-degree murder. Eventually, Daniel said, quote, "I did not go there to murder him," unquote. And then he confessed to murdering Brian Drake. Daniel Moore was charged with second-degree murder and the use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. On October 30, 2020, he was released on bail and resumed his practice as a chiropractor. In April of 2021, Daniel's defense challenged the validity of the confession. The court found that the confession was coerced, and Daniel's Miranda rights were violated. The confession was ruled inadmissible. The criminal charges against Daniel Moore were dismissed on August 31, 2022. The state appealed to the Supreme Court of Idaho. They argued that the district court was correct when it said that Daniel's Miranda rights were violated, but the district court made a mistake when it declared that the confession was coerced. This is important because the state intended to refile the charges against Daniel someday, if
No,
possible.
no, they
They wanted to
didn't.
make sure that if he testified at a preliminary hearing or at his trial, his confession could be used to impeach his credibility.
I
The
haven't they
state argued
found.
that an illegally obtained confession should not give a defendant a license to perjure himself at trial. The state was successful. The Supreme Court of Idaho ruled that the confession was not coerced. This puts Daniel Moore in a tough position. There's not a lot of evidence against him right now, but if that changes and he is charged with murder, his legal tactics will be limited. He could still testify in his own defense and deny committing the murder, but that would allow the state to use the confession to expose his deception. Even though Daniel may be clear for now as far as the criminal case, he is still facing a civil case filed by the family of Brian Drake. Now moving to my analysis.
Okay. The wife of Brian Drake. Here we go. This is his analysis.
Daniel Moore maintains his innocence, and there are many people who believe that he had nothing to do with the murder of Brian Drake. This case has led to several conspiracy theories involving law enforcement. Their incompetent handling of the interview gave people a lot of ammunition against them. The state, of course, believes that Daniel Moore is guilty. They just don't have enough evidence to support that theory without the confession. This brings me to the question, was Daniel Moore guilty of murder? Let's take a look at the evidence both for and against the idea that he was guilty, starting with the inculpatory factors. Daniel Moore and Brian Drake were both chiropractors who work on the same street. Bonners Ferry is a small town. It's hard to imagine that there was a tremendous demand for chiropractors. Maybe Daniel wanted to restrict the competition's range of motion permanently. Daniel's pickup truck was captured on video surveillance, driving in the area of Brian's office at around the time of the murder. The human figure seen exiting his vehicle was almost certainly Daniel. The truck drove in the alley next to Brian's office building. The truck then parked nearby. A human figure could be seen walking toward Brian's office right before the shooting and leaving right after the shooting. The truck then went to a house occupied.
You've never seen any of this. So wait, what is he reading from here? I have no idea what he's reading from. This is never, that stuff isn't out there because it doesn't exist. I was blown away. He's just making this up right here.
By a friend of Daniel's. When the truck left that house, it went in the direction of Daniel's house using an indirect route. Daniel's explanation for this strange behavior was intestinal distress. Yet there are many restrooms available in this area. Why would he choose an alley? 3 days after the murder, Daniel had a mysterious gas leak in his office. The cause was a gas fitting that received an adjustment. Daniel confessed to the murder. It was ruled inadmissible, but it was not coerced. Moving to the exculpatory factors. No physical evidence ties Daniel to the murder. No DNA, no fingerprints, no gunshot residue. Daniel did not know Brian. It seems strange that he would murder him out of nowhere. No murder weapon was ever recovered. In theory, any number of people could be responsible for the murder. Just because Daniel was in the area acting suspiciously doesn't mean that he was the shooter. As far as the confession, even though the court said it was not coerced, maybe it was coerced in reality. When considering the evidence, do I think that Daniel Moore is guilty? In my opinion, he's probably guilty in reality, but he's not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Without the confession, the state's case is weak. I think this is one of those odd situations where everybody knows who committed the crime, but nothing can be done to pursue justice. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Daniel Moore viewed Brian Drake as a pain in the neck because Brian was competition. For some reason, Daniel reached a boiling point on March 12, 2020. He drove his pickup truck into the alley next to Brian's office building and looked at or through the window. He knew Brian was in there. Maybe he could see a shadow, or he could see through the gaps in the blinds.
I love it.
He parked his pickup truck nearby, walked up to the window, fired a single shot, and left. Daniel somehow disposed of the murder weapon and escaped responsibility. The problem is, he could not escape his guilt and shame. He caused a gas leak in his office to make his exit. His effort was interrupted by a friend. He sent mixed messages to the police during an interview, which prompted them to violate his rights and illegally obtain a confession. Daniel was able to win a legal victory to exclude the confession as evidence, but it still haunts him in the form of restricting his tactics in the future if he is charged again. Now moving to my final thoughts. Daniel Moore is in a tough place as far as looking guilty. His back is against the wall. The weight of his alleged involvement will never be lifted from his shoulders. He will always need to watch his back and bend over backward not to supply the state with new evidence. No matter how much he stretches the truth, his manipulation will never get his story into alignment with reality. Fortunately,
so he just made a huge pun here at the end about chiropractors or whatever. Anyways, I loved it. I loved. He is so wrong, number one. And what helps my thought on that is that Ellen Greenberg stabbed herself 20 times according to this guy. By God. Unbelievable. But anyways, I just had to share that because that's what when I saw the Ellen Greenberg, I said, damn. I said, no, that's just, I cannot believe that you just came out and said all that, buddy. Wild. He is very wrong a lot of the times. Yeah, he's right there. I just showed you 2 for 2. But I sped him up at 1.5. We would have been here forever. Anyways. Well, that's about all I have for tonight. I'll save a bombshell. I will just say that we're working hard. We're working hard. Oh, you guys want me to do some thank you notes? Thank you notes. I don't even know who to thank. I'd have to take I'd probably thank the warehouse for reminding me that life is always better when you take a swing and a stab at it. So I gotta go to bed. I'm exhausted. But I have a huge bombshell I'm revealing on Sunday night. Please join me. Truth and Transparency is, and we'll be calling Idaho State Police, providing them with undisputed evidence that they've had in their possession the entire time, and that somehow they just happen to overlook it. Well, there is no more overlooking the facts, that their incompetency. So we'll be doing that. It's on Sunday. You guys rock. Thank you guys so much. Ann Taylor is not going to ride Brian's face. What? Silly willies. We going to Delphi? We going to Delphi. We going everywhere. We going everywhere. On your way out, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs down. Make yourself known. You have to have an opinion, man. Have an opinion. Have an ass. Everybody has an opinion, just like an asshole, man. Come on. Thanks, guys. Take care. And then everybody that... Oh, my God. Oh, wait, I forgot. 11:22. Good vibes. I didn't even get to this. Musicland. Good vibes with Idaho 4. Rasheem Carter forever. Positive spin in this dark world. Love the goat. That's right. Thank you so much. Musicland. $11.22 after 11:22. King or queen. You guys all rock. 49 girl gifted a membership. Moon with a membership. You guys are the best. My head's been spinning today. Bless you. Bless me. Bless everybody. Bless us, oh Lord, in these eye gifts, which I'm about to receive in my mouth tonight. Thank you. Peace. Peace. Bye, mods. Thank you guys so much. Lana, are they eating dogs and cats in Ohio? No fucking clue what anybody's talking about with that. I don't eat dog nor cat. Meow. Criminal negligence. I wonder if Jennifer Drake's waiting for this piece on Sunday. Dear Jennifer, love Lana. Dear Jennifer, make sure you take your Viagra. It's going to get wild on Sunday. Yes, it's going on. Eating cats. Who's eating cats? Yes, they are. A cat for sure. And ducks at the park. Who is eating cats and dogs? The fuck? Now you're going to make me Google this shit, man. Cats and dogs being ate in Ohio. Let's see. Cats and dogs. Cats and dogs being eaten. Eating cats and ducks. Are Ohio pets being eaten? Oh, is this by them? Why are they eating them? The fuck?
story. We're going to show you a clip. It's a little disgusting. So again, you're being warned. It's not that bad, but it is disgusting. Claims that Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio are eating pets were...
Smile for me. Smile. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with him.
Did you see her eating it?
Eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah, she was.
You call the Humane Society to see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's deceased.
I know you're emotional here, Adam. So I'm going to come to you last, but go ahead.
He has two cats. Well, Haitian. I mean, I don't know how.
Okay, I'm about to barf. I gotta go. Bye, guys. Oh my God, that's disgusting.